up in Ohio, I was always familiar with the rivalry, Michigan versus Ohio State. Paid attention to Woody Bowl. The Rose Bowl was so big. Wanted to play in Big Ten championships. So I knew that I probably wanted to go to a Big Ten school. And I was a highly recruited tailback. Got letters from all over the country. But, once I got a letter from Michigan and took my official visit there, just something about sitting in Bo Schembechler's office, it felt like it was home. It felt like where I needed to be. I look at the 4th and 1 catch against Notre Dame. It still amazes me today when you watch it. And it took every ounce of my being to stretch out and catch that ball. I caught it with my fingertips and brought it in. It's just, I look at how I caught it. I look at how I cradled it, how I brought it in without it hitting the ground. And obviously that's like a big issue today, because everything is being replayed 18 times now to make sure it's a catch. And I look at that and I'm like, man, looking at the angles and how they would just bring it in. And, you look at the down and distance situation, everything that was at stake for that play. And it was just, that's what made it so big, too. I tell people all the time, it's not just what you do in the game, it's when you do it. I never lost to Ohio State, but it still was a huge rivalry for us. We knew what it meant. And Bo Schembechler, I was very, very blessed to play 2 years for Coach Bo Schembechler. And he's one of the architects of the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry. So he made sure that he instilled in us how important that game was. And it was different. There was no hiding it. There was no beating around the bush. This is a different week. This is a different team. This is going to be a different game. Well, before the announcement was made for the Heisman winner my year, I was kind of nervous. After the announcement, I was relieved, very relieved. It was a time where I didn't have my parents there. My parents were via satellite in Cleveland, so I got a chance to watch my parents and their reaction. And that made me more happier than anything. That almost brought me to tears of watching my dad's reaction, my mom and my family in Cleveland, and how they responded to their son winning the Heisman.
In college football's biggest moments, on the biggest stage, you've earned the right to have your name mentioned with the game's elite, joining others voted as the most outstanding player in college football. You've earned the right to be called Heisman Trophy winner.